You got to double click it.
No, it is. I ain't gonna turn us off.
Okay.
All right, guys, we're
okay. Looks like we're going to make it there. We're sitting here shelling English peas because that's what we have to do right now. We've got just a short window of opportunity here to do everything.
We actually hit 500 subscribers on Patreon. And so we wanted to say thank you, and we promised when we first set Patreon up that when we got to 500, Danny would go live.
We would go live.
Ever so often.
Yeah, at least once a week we would try to go live. And guys, we're busting it this morning. We've been up since daylight. We picked English peas this morning. And that's what we're doing is sitting here shelling. It's time for our 9 o'clock, we call it our 9 o'clock break. We just happened to finish shelling English peas, putting tomato vines up, going through the corn, making sure there's no cornworm, picking blueberries. I picked blackberries. I just got through picking onions.
Got a few of those. Hey, Music Will.
And let's see.
How many onions you get?
I probably had to pull 10 because about 10 of them had broke over, and one of them's kind of soft because I was kind of figuring, maybe I better not leave it because it might go bad.
So we need to eat it first.
Yeah, you'll know it when you get out there. I think there's 2 of them out there that's kind of soft, being under that black plastic. But we're trying to get all the food in that we can. We're running a race here. I've got to straighten my back just a minute. Well, I've been bent over all morning. I've got to go start putting up fencing. That's not something that I always look forward to. I got to go push a road through the woods and try to take and get a lane ready. I got the post yesterday, the day before I went and bought the wire and stuff. So we got to add more land up for the cows because we've got the new baby now. And based on how many cows we got, we need to add a little bit more land for the cows to have plenty to eat on.
All right, Music Will, are you hearing us? I'm just because R.L. Baker, are you guys hearing us? I see y'all saying good morning, so I need to know is the connection good? We have no way of knowing unless somebody tells us, and we could be sitting here chatting and nobody knows that we're even live. So if we get no feedback, I've got to figure out what's going on.
We'll just find out here right quick. Like we should be live. YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain a smooth streaming as much viewers will experience buffering.
Yeah, people are clicking in, but I'm not knowing if we're actually live.
They said yes, all good.
Okay, so.
Okay.
Well.
There's a lag time is what it is.
We've been having issues. Yesterday, for whatever reason,
YouTube signed us out of everything.
Yeah, now it's, I don't know what it just did. Okay.
There you go. Now, we're good.
Yeah, YouTube or Google. Actually, it was Google.
Was it Google?
Yeah,
okay.
Google signed us out of everything. We couldn't get into our YouTube account. We couldn't get into our emails. I mean, it was everything. And I had to reset passwords a while ago to even get back into YouTube and get this up going this morning. And now I've got to go to phones, and we've got a whole bunch of junk to do today on top of
having to worry with something.
Canning peas.
Got to can English peas and get ready to put fencing up, all kinds of stuff.
Look how big I don't know if y'all can see these or not. These are some big English peas. We were really, the last couple of times we've let them go a little bit longer.
Yeah, we've kind of added some time to them. Yeah, that's what I figured it's about a 10 or 12 second lag time. Yeah. Anyway, I've been doing a little bit of research and, checking on things.
And I showed him a video. No, we hadn't decided on a name for the hummingbird yet.
We hadn't
even saw the video.
I hadn't even seen the video.
The comments or anything yet because we've been logged out.
Yeah, and plus we've been in the garden all
We've been in the garden, so I don't even know what the video's doing right now. I have no clue. But I showed Danny a video that was on YouTube, and actually it was a newscast.
It was a newscast, is what it was. Yeah. You moved it over to Deep South Gathering, though, didn't you?
I think it's in the gathering place. Yeah.
Yeah, guys, it's very eye-opening, and I've known this.
We've known it for years, but to see it blatantly put out that way.
The thing about it is back in 1985, God gave me a vision of the United States. At that time, I was ministering to a lot of different churches. I was filling in for pastors when they were absent out of pulpits and stuff like that. And as God gave me this vision, I was trying to tell people then about the vision. I had no details. All I had was the vision of the United States literally coming all to pieces and crumbling and falling apart, uprisings everywhere, food shortages, famines, crazy weather, all this kind of stuff. God gave me a vision of this back in 1985. Well, at the time, I thought it was going to be then, and I was,
most preachers.
Well, yeah, I was hammering it from the pulpit. I was telling people, man, get food ready, do this, do that, do this, and well, from 1985,
2020,
do the math, and that's how many years it's been since I had the vision. I've never stopped preparing. God told me then to start preparing and getting myself ready. I paid my first home off. Then I ended up paying my second home off and my land and everything. And I was like, God, I'm trying to stay ready. I'm not focusing on anything in the world. I mean, I wouldn't want him went out and eat and went to movies and all that kind of stuff. I dumped all my money into our land and home and everything like that to stay out of debt, to try to be as self-sufficient as possible, thinking, man, this was right on top of us. And, well, here it is, 2020, and it's finally coming to fruition. For the last 5 years on YouTube, I've been trying to tell people about that vision. I've been trying to lead people into raising their own food, preparing for themselves, because God gave me the vision. I knew it was going to happen. I knew it was going to happen in my lifetime. I just didn't know when. And I kept getting older, and I'm like, God, I'm not a spring chicken anymore. When is this going to happen? Well, it's happening.
It's starting, yeah.
It's starting to happen.
And people have always thought he's a little crazy. I mean, to start with, they really prepared. People really prepared. In
1985, then we had the crash of the oil industry crashed in 1987, and I was like, yep, here it is, And then everybody moved up to the East Coast that I knew. Went back to work on the East Coast, and everything in a year or so was back to normal. And I was like, wow, what happened here? And actually,
you hadn't got to the video. Getting up to it.
Actually, I spent some really good years making some good money afterwards, and I was like, well, maybe I misunderstood the vision that I had.
Yeah.
And then here we are today, and now the things that I'm beginning to see. I've already told Wanda a lot of the stuff that's going to happen in the country.
And on YouTube, he couldn't just come out and say, I had a vision or anything like that, because people think you're wacky.
They think you're crazy.
They don't understand. And he wasn't trying to predict the future.
No, I wasn't trying to be a prophet and say, this is the date, this is going to happen. I wasn't trying to do that.
He just was putting 2 and 2 together and coming up with 4, where a lot of people are putting 2 and 2 together and coming up with 6, 10, 12, 15, 25. They're going way out there. They're not seeing step by step and what progresses.
And Wanda would always look at me and she'd say, Danny, go ahead and tell them. Go ahead. And I told her, I says, Wanda, I can't.
Yeah.
Because I don't know when it's going to happen. I just know it's going to happen. And I said, you know, there's a scripture in the verse in the Bible that talks about a prophet, that if a prophet prophesies something and it doesn't come true, then he's a false prophet. I says, and I'll get deemed as a prophet, and I'll be said as a false prophet if this don't happen the way I said it was going to happen. And so I've just kept my mouth shut. And people would always go, Danny, if you know something, please tell us. Please tell us when.
So he's tried subtly to say, prepare. He's showed you how to do gardens. He's mentioned this. He's talked about the food shortages way before there was food shortages. He did videos.
Yeah, I did videos
in February of last year. Wasn't it February?
No, it's February this year.
Was it?
Yeah, it's February this year, but they didn't anything happen until later.
I don't know. Anyway, it was way on past the time. No, it was February last year.
It was last year. It was last year.
Yeah, it was February.
February of last year. I did the videos. Yeah.
He had a vision of these food shortages, and he thought, well, let me go into a little detail about food shortages, and he did that on Patreon, a year ago.
Yep.
And then we moved it like 3 or 4 months later to YouTube because there was so much going on. And people still did not get what he was talking about. Food shortages isn't about necessarily a lack of food. There's many ways of having food shortages.
Yeah.
And the United States has way more food than they know what to do with right now because they're pouring it out. They're getting rid of it. They're leaving it.
The crazy thing right now we're facing is the government is coming into cattle ranches, and they're actually telling them, we're going to help y'all take care of this overpopulated cattle problem that you have. Now, some places they pick the cows up and they leave with them. Other places are just going onto people's ranches and they're just killing the cows right there. Big old fat cows are just killing them. And what makes me so angry about this is, it's not that we don't need the meat, because today, it's either today or yesterday, the United States starts getting its first beef in from a foreign country. Why are we getting beef in from a foreign country if we're killing our own cows? See, that makes no sense to me whatsoever. That's a double standard, and it tells me that there's some kind of agenda going on, and it's not anything that I want to be a part of. I mean, Wanda and I are trying to raise cows, not get rid of cows.
And they're doing the same thing with the pigs. They're going in and aborting baby pigs because pigs will multiply in a heartbeat. And if you don't have a processing plant, which several of them are shut down, they don't how often? 6 months or less? How long?
Every 6 months or less you can have a litter of pigs.
So they're trying to not have an overpopulation. And then they've got chickens and chicken houses, and chickens don't last long in chicken houses, and they got to go somewhere. They're
euthanizing millions of chickens right now in different states. Now, not every state is doing this, but there are some states that are. And guys, it's just like Henry Kissinger. I mean, I'm not a fan of Henry Kissinger, but Henry Kissinger said, whoever controls the food controls the people.
Yeah.
And there's nothing any more true than that.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not sure how this is all going to play out. I know where it's headed. I can tell you that. I mean, because I know the vision God gave me. I know the end result. I just don't know all the details in between it. The end result is a new currency. Now, how this new currency is going to be brought about could be brought in by a number of different ways.
Yeah, where's the imported cattle going? Who knows? I guess they're bringing it in already packaged. Do you know?
Oh, yeah, I imagine it's already packaged, more than likely.
Since we've been sending our animals overseas to be processed, they've shut down not all our plants. We still have plants, but a lot of our animals are being shipped overseas, and they're taking the country of origin off the label.
Oh, that was another thing. Yes, they're now taking the country of origin off of the labels because people have learned if it's from some of these other countries, they won't buy it because lots of things like the tilapia I like tilapia. But every time I go to the store to get tilapia, it says it's from Vietnam or it's from Taiwan or Indonesia or somewhere like that, and I won't buy it. And there's lots of other people that do the same thing. They will not buy food if the origin comes from another country, like organic garlic from China.
Yeah.
That there is, if you go back and do the research on that, there is nothing organic about that garlic, nothing at all. And we're sitting here as a nation
allowing
all this to happen, and the only thing that's going to happen, that's going to come out of this, is one thing: you're going to have food rationing. You're going to have the military controlling the food, and once the military controls the food, then the people who don't raise their own will be the ones that have to comply with everything that's going on. And then we've got, oh, this is the big one for me, guys. This is the big one. How many of y'all have seen the new thing out about having a chip party? We have a video over on our homestead, on our gathering place.
Yeah, Deep South Gathering Place on Facebook. Somebody posted it, and when I watched it, I had to repost it into the Gathering Place. Guys, it's getting real. It's getting real fast. And even though we've known this is coming, and we've known that it's been happening for 20 years or more.
Yeah, we've known it for quite some time.
They're now making it a fun thing.
Yeah. Now, the video shows people it's a party, and they have a tattoo artist at the party who is inserting chips in people's hands so that they don't have to carry their wallet with them anymore. They don't have to do all these things. They can go buy a drink machine and get a Coca-Cola, or they go to a snack machine, get a snack, then go buy groceries. They don't have to carry nothing in with them. They can just scan their hand over something, and it buys it for them, and it deducts it from their account. This is nothing new. Let me tell you something. Wanda and I talked about this last night while we was over at the cabin. People will go, oh, I'll never, there's no way I'll ever be a part of this chip system. You know, I'll never agree with crypto. I'll never agree with any of this currency issue like it is. Well, let me tell you something.
We already have.
You already have. You don't even realize it. I mean, some of you probably have realized it, but anytime you use a checking account number, use a routing number, a debit card number,
credit card
number, any of these things like this, even a check,
no
actual money has ever changed hands. The currency behind the line is nothing more than a number on a ledger, and all they're doing is moving numbers on ledgers. They're not actually transferring real cash from one bank to another. When you get your check from your boss, lots of people now just get a thing on their phone,
a
deposit on their phone, and they go to a place like Walmart. Walmart scans their phone, and if they want cash out of it, they can get cash or whatever.
Or pay for whatever.
They want to pay for.
And then they pay their bills through that.
I don't know of a boss today, other than, I mean, I used to do it, but
that's been a long time.
Been 10 years ago or better. I don't know of anybody today that just walks up to you when your paycheck time comes in and hands you the money in cash.
And then you take the cash and you buy everything you want. There's some people that do that. Now, there are people.
There's some out there that do it. I did it. I would always tell people, I'd make them a deal. You pay me in cash, I'll charge this. You pay me with a check, you know, it's going to cost you this much, you know.
But most people don't realize we're already into a cryptocurrency type thing. They're going to take it to the nth, yes.
Yep.
But for 20 years now, everybody's scanning a card. They're swiping a card. There's no money. I used to say, and this is where Danny and I were going with this, when 20 years ago I said I will not use a debit card. There's no way. I'm going to keep my checking account. I'm going to have my cash.
Yep.
That's how I'm going to deal with things.
I'm going to pay nothing but cash. I'm not.
And gradually,
we've complied. I mean, you know, you get a debit card. Well, at the time I was doing a lot of traveling with my work and stuff, and you couldn't stay at a hotel with cash. you had to have a credit card
Yeah,
to get a hotel.
for whatever reason, they didn't want to take cash.
Or you had to have a debit card and have the money in the bank so that they could just deduct it from your account.
And most businesses now will not take cash. They started that, 8 or 10 years ago?
8 or 10 years ago, yep.
And they started saying, no cash, no cash, no cash.
Right.
You have these businesses that don't want to deal with it because it puts them in a spot. Because I worked for a business that took in large amounts of cash because we had rentals. It put us in a place to one day we were robbed. And when that people know you take large amounts of cash in, it puts you in a very vulnerable situation.
Yeah.
So most of your businesses are now not wanting cash. If they take limited cash, most all of them.
Right.
And so everybody's in this, hey.
Well, people are scared of cash today.
Yeah.
They're scared. I was telling Wanda, my daddy, this has been many years ago. I mean, it's been probably 30 years ago. My daddy bought an 18-wheeler in, well, he didn't buy the whole 18-wheeler. He just bought the truck part in a town about 4 hours north where we live at. And he went to the bank and he told them, he said, this truck's going to cost me I think it was $21,000. And he said, I need to get the money from you to go up and pay for it. And I want it to be in cash because I told him I'd make a cash deal with him. Well, the bank gave my dad that was back, and that's 30 years ago. They gave him $21,000
in cash.
In cash. And Dad told me, he said, when I got on the road and got to going, he said, then I got nervous. He's like, I've never had this kind of money in my pocket. He said, what if something happens? What if I break down between here and there? What if somebody, a lot of what ifs started coming into his head. And for the 3-hour or 4-hour drive it was to wherever this place was at up there in central Mississippi, Daddy was awful nervous because he had that kind of cash in his pocket. But once he got there and was able to make the deal on the truck, because it was a brand new one at that time, and can you believe that? You could get a new 18-wheeler truck for $21,000 back then. I mean,
can't even get a used
one. You can't even get a used one now for that.
I'd hate to see
you can't even get an automobile for that.
No.
And he was buying one for an 18-wheeler. But that's how much things have changed. When I started in business back in the early 80s or mid 80s, by 1990, all I had to do was pick the phone up and call the bank and say, look, I'm at such and such a place. I'm looking at this piece of equipment. I need to write a check. Can y'all cover it for me? And the bank would look at me and go, oh, go ahead, Mr. King, cover it. As soon as you come back, just drop back in here and sign the papers on it. We'll be good to go. That's how simple things used to be. And it's not that simple anymore. Things have really, really changed a lot.
So mainly we just want to jump on for a few minutes and talk about these things, saying, we've already kind of complied to the money thing.
Yeah, people are freaking out about cryptocurrency. Let me tell you, cryptocurrency's been here for a long time. It's just that it hasn't been in what they call blockchain form.
Yeah. You're already used to not having cash.
Yeah.
Right now they're getting you used to rationing because you're staying home and you can't go anywhere. They're kind of getting it to the rationing part. Yeah. You're going to be able to say, okay, well, they don't have that much toilet paper, but I only need 4 rolls. So I'll get a 4-roll pack this week, and next week I'll get 4 rolls. And you'll get used to it. Within the next 6 months, you'll get used to just every week buying the 4-roll pack of toilet paper, where you would have bought a
24-roll pack
and not have to go every week. They're going to get you used to having to do it their way. And that's, Danny and I kind of saw that when they started doing the pickup thing at Walmart.
When Walmart had the drive-through window, I told Wanda, I said, well,
something's kind of crazy
I said, rationing is right around the corner.
And sure, we're going to be able to go back in the stores, probably shortly.
But it won't, nothing will ever be the same again, though.
They'll have rules and regulations added, because one of the good indicators at our store, and we still hadn't figured out why they did it yet, but we know in the future we'll figure it out. When we walked up to our store, was it a year ago when they were remodeling?
Yeah.
It was last year. There was this huge hole dug out in the front of the store.
She's talking about Walmart. When you go to Walmart, right in front of the 2 doors that slide where you go in, they had a hole dug in the ground there, probably 8 by 8. I don't know.
Deep.
It was deep.
Now it's all covered up.
It's covered up with cement,
and
there's steel pipes sticking up in it with something under steel pipes.
Yeah.
Now, we don't know exactly what it is. But
and it may be something so simple as they don't want people. Danny says they don't want people running through the front doors.
I figured they didn't want somebody driving through the front doors with a vehicle, so they put them pipes that deep in the ground, poured concrete down there.
We'd have no clue. But it was strange that they started remodeling and they started doing a lot of things. They rerouted everything in our store where
they moved everything, and our whole store was moved.
But they've rerouted the front.
Yeah.
You can't just open the doors open and 5 or 6 people go in at one time and 5 or 6 come out. That doesn't happen anymore. When the doors open, you're going in one way and you're kind of routed like cattle around into this part of the store. The people coming out have to come out a different door, and it's almost like you're routed. You can't leave out of that store without going through a checkout line now. Used to, you could have. You could have walked around and went out a door without going through a checkout line.
Yeah, and Wanda used to get so mad at me because when we go through the door to go outside, there would always be this person standing there and says, "Can I see your receipt, please?" And I would say no. And Wanda go, "Danny, give them the receipt." I'm like, "No." I said, "I paid for it back there. I'm not stealing nothing. This is freaking communism. They're wanting to check me when I go out the door." I said, "No, you're not looking at my receipt." I said, "If that door dings, you can check my stuff." And
they would just keep walking.
I just keep walking. And make Wanda so mad, she would just, I think it embarrassed her more than anything else.
It did. But
I don't comply. I don't comply very well. You can ask my past teachers in school. I'm one of them kind that if it ain't something I see that's totally necessary, I ain't doing it.
Yeah. Eagle Lover said that Living Traditions mentioned us today on their video. Oh, thank you. We'll watch them in just a little bit. But like I said, we had no internet since yesterday evening. And, well, we had internet. We just were locked out. We
couldn't get to it.
And we were at the cabin, and we get no internet over there.
Right.
And I noticed we were locked out just before we left to go to the cabin. And I thought it was just my other computer because it's touch screen, and I figured I'd touch something and sign myself out. And so I didn't have time to worry with it last night. And when I got over here this morning, it was still signed out. Then when I looked at my phone, it was signed out. When I got on this computer, it was signed out. And I'm like, well.
When we go to the cabin, we just leave it all over here.
I did take my computer and finish editing one video that
we have one, because I have to tell this, even though this is going to be in a video. Can I go ahead and tell it?
Yeah, they can.
We'll tell our patrons anyway. So you guys get a heads up. Yesterday evening, Wanda and I were so dead tired from busting it all day long that I told her, I said, "Look, just get some stuff ready. We're going to go over to the cabin. We're going to cook, and we're going to just chill out. You know, we're going to take it easy." And she goes, "Well, Danny, I got to edit a video." I said, "Well, you can edit it at the cabin. We got the generators over there. You can run the computer off a generator." I said, "So we're going to the cabin, and we're going to take it easy." So we went over. We cooked our meal. We sat down.
And we're going to have a video on
we got a
what
video,
we cooked and stuff like that.
About this meal, because this meal was outstanding, guys. And we're going to show you on the video about the meal. But we went and fixed our meal, and well, we sat down there. And we got, about 3/4 of the way through it?
We were almost there, yeah.
Almost finished with it. And Wanda got a text on her phone. Some hay had fell off the truck, off of a big rig down the road here, and it rolled up into the churchyard of our church. And the guy didn't even stop. He just left these two big old rolls of hay roll right up in the churchyard out there. And I don't know.
I didn't video any of that though.
No, but we didn't video none of that. But we didn't know if
the pastor's wife let us know if we wanted it, we could come get it.
Yeah, the pastor's wife told us, if y'all want it, come get it. So Wanda and I were sitting there looking at each other, and I'm like, I just said I needed 2 bales of hay to get us through till the grass got to going a little better in the fields. I was like, we wanted to rest. I said, but God's made this hay available, and it's free. I said, we got to load the tractor up on the trailer. I got to go take all the equipment off the tractor and put the hay spear on the tractor. We got to load the tractor on the trailer, take the tractor to the church, unload it, load the hay in the back of the truck, bring a
one
truck
bale at a time.
one bale at a time.
This is a huge.
These are the big bales.
Yeah.
And bring it to the house, unload it, go back, load another in the truck, come back home, unload it, go back, hook up to the trailer, load the tractor back up, and then come back home.
So our quiet evening it wasn't quiet till what, 7:30?
It was about 7:30 before we actually got squared away.
So, but it was a blessing because this is really good hay. You said had some wheat in it?
This hay was ryegrass, oats, and wheat, all baled in.
And that's not something we usually buy.
No, that ain't nothing we usually buy. So this is good hay.
Yeah. So it was really special, and we appreciate that the pastor's wife said, "Hey, look, we got this." It had been there all day, and nobody had come back and got it, and so it meant we got 2 bales of hay. These are the 2 large round bales of hay.
Yeah.
And Danny just bought 3 small.
I just bought 3 small bales, trying to tide the cows over just a little bit till I could find some round hay, because you can't find it here right now.
Yeah. And Danny's fixing to do some more fencing because we have all these area over here that we want to put the cows. They're in this back part here, and they've cleared a lot of it. We've put them across here. They've cleared some of it, but we're fixing to move them back over there every couple of days. Now he wants to work on the next section, and that gives them different paddocks. They can stay off the grass in one section while they're in another.
Yeah.
And we just keep moving them. So,
when God says get up and go, sometimes your get up and go ain't always there.
But you make it happen.
But Wanda and I made it happen. We just told her, I said, look,
let's do it.
Let's just do it. Let's don't wait till tomorrow. Don't put off till tomorrow what can be done today. I said, and we still got daylight left. We got a couple hours of daylight, so let's go see if we can make this happen in a couple hours.
So it was pretty awesome. But we need to get off.
Yeah, I got to.
And we'll try to do this off and on, maybe, like Danny said, maybe once a week.
We'll try to do it once a week if we can.
It'll probably be either at around 9 o'clock in the morning or 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Not sure what date. So if you're wanting to be a part of a live stream, ask questions, things like that, we'll get to the point that we can kind of watch. Today we're just trying to shell one.
Yeah, we're trying to shell.
Because I got a can.
Wanda's got a can. I got to go start putting up fencing. So.
And we've got some green beans plus these English peas that I've got a can today. And
we're already getting squash in, snap beans.
Squash has got to be canned probably tomorrow.
Yep.
And I've got cucumbers that I've got to start, and I'm going to be doing my red hot cucumber pickles this time. And hopefully I might do another video on that when I do it. I've got one on Crazy Days, and I don't know if I need to reinvent the wheel. It saves me time if people would go back and watch the one I've already got done instead of doing a new video. And so I may just include it in something I'm talking about on Crazy Days and put the link to the original up.
Right.
And because it takes 2 or 3 days to make these red hot pickles. They don't just happen overnight, but they are so good. And they're really good to have for special occasions if you like having pretty red pickles on a plate with another variety or two. It makes it really nice.
And they're just good.
Oh, they're just good, yeah.
They're just good. And guys, so I guess the main thing Wanda and I want to try to reiterate to everybody is that right now it seems like there's everything we need everywhere right now. I mean, some of the stores are getting a little bit empty.
But stay away from Walmart and go to your local stores.
Patronize your local people, especially your local butchers and stuff like that. Wanda and I are going tomorrow, along with Amanda from Freedom Acres, and we're going to be getting a whole cow that's been butchered for us. Amanda got half, we got half.
Mm-hmm.
I made the deal with them. I could have took the whole cow for us, but I told Wanda, I said, look, you and me will never eat a whole cow
No.
in a year's time. I said, let's just share it with Amanda from Freedom Acres. And we went and they agreed to purchase the other half of it, her and Paul. And we're all going to go tomorrow and get this meat that's been cut up because from everything I'm seeing and understanding, by the time October rolls around this year, we're going to be in pretty dire straits if something big don't happen pretty soon.
And even if we're not, if you've prepared something up,
yeah,
you still, I mean, my thought is if you had $500, you went and spent it in food that will last right now. Come October, November, December, and everything's back bumping and going and pretty normal and all this, you don't have to go to the grocery store. You still got food. You can just let it ride and keep sticking up some extra money until the next time you need to do this.
This is how our forefathers
prepping is a way of
survived.
Life. Yeah. They would go once a year and get all the flour and sugar and that kind of stuff they needed for a long period of time, 3 to 6 months at least. And they would go back to their houses because it took them so long to get to a store somewhere.
Well, there wasn't a lot of money available back then either.
And so when they saved up, they had the money, they'd go get all their flour and their sugar and whatever else they needed. And then they raised their eggs and their chickens and their veggies and their beef and stuff like that, or they killed a deer.
Yeah.
And so that's how people lived. And I get in cities now people can't do that.
Well, I understand that.
But there is, like, I'm not trying to sell anything, but I'm just going to give you an example. We are affiliates with My Patriot Supply. So if I lived in a city and I could not get a whole lot of things, I would check into these companies like My Patriot Supply, and there's like 50 million other ones out there. I get that. And I would have something in my stash that is long term like that, in case you can't for a week or two get to a store somewhere. Or, I mean, if this virus came back and they literally would not let you leave your house for a month, I mean, literally not let you leave for a month, do you have something to eat?
Let me put it to you this way. If it comes back this fall or this winter and it comes back with a vengeance and you don't have anything stored up, it's your own fault. Because this should be a wake-up call. We've been, 3 weeks now?
No, it's been...
Or a month maybe on a lockdown?
Yeah, at least.
At least a month.
It's been...
we should have learned from this to have stuff stuck up. So make sure you have things stuck up in case it comes back this fall with a vengeance. And I'm going to tell you, they're saying that it is. I mean, they're already making...
Almost everybody is predicting...
Almost everyone is saying that it's going to. Even the local people around here are preparing for this fall.
Even though they don't know, they don't keep up with a whole lot.
Right.
And we honestly, talking to people in our town, there were so many of them were sick before the COVID-19. From October to January, February, we had a lot of people in this town sick, and they thought, we can't sling this stuff.
They couldn't sling
it.
They couldn't get rid of it. They were taking antibiotics and everything. And we're believing now, and so are they, that they actually had this virus then.
It was going around between October and January before we had any knowledge. We knew China had something going on, but nobody thought about it's already here.
Right.
So, we honestly think it was already going around, and there's a lot of people that it didn't affect because there's a lot of people that don't get any symptoms. And then there's some that get it and they can't sling it, but it don't put them in the hospital. It just lingers like a bad virus.
Yeah.
And
I talked to 2 people yesterday that said that last November they had something. They said, I took like 3 or 4 rounds of antibiotics, just could not sling that thing. And they said finally one day it just let up. They were running like 103, 104 degree temperature. The doctors had told them they got some kind of pneumonia and all this kind of stuff. And they said they believed then that they had what we call COVID-19 now.
So it could come back with a vengeance. And guys, just be prepared. Have your meds, have your food, have your water.
Go get meat. If you want meat and you're a meat eater, get it and store it up now.
Some sort.
Yes.
We're going to be canning more. I've had a lot of people ask about canning videos. I do have canning videos. For those that don't know, we have all kinds of canning videos. But at some point, maybe Danny and I'll set up and do a live stream and show some canning meat. A couple of ways of doing it. I did the pork the other day, and it was the ham. It was fabulous. I'm gonna tell you that Danny said, "Man, that is some good."
That's some good stuff there now.
It was really good.
Really
canned.
Good.
And so I have a couple more hams.
Actually, it was better canned than it was fresh.
Yeah, it really was. And I'm gonna can the other couple of hams, and that gives me my meat in a jar, ready to eat. All I did was take it out and make some ham salad.
Ham salad out of it, yeah.
It was delicious. I finished it off yesterday, so now we got to find something to eat.
Yeah, we got to get off of here. We said we weren't going to stay on here very long because we don't want to just hold people. We just want to do this. We reached our 500 patrons, and we want to say thank you guys from the depths of our heart. I want to be honest with y'all and tell you that Wanda and I, the money that comes through Patreon, we have not spent one dime of it for anything personal.
It went to the cabin.
It has all gone to the cabin. And the cabin is quickly becoming a studio for us. We do a lot of...
We're going to keep on till we can move over there and do more videos. We can't do lives because we have no internet.
Right. But we're actively working on some sort of a power source over there so that we can do stuff.
Yeah. And internet just won't reach over there. It's the biggest deal. So the live is out. But we do want to do more videos over there. We want to be able to show more things. And it's not because we know how to live off-grid, whatever.
No, we want to show people the ups and downs of off-grid living because everywhere you look online, I watch a lot of off-grid stuff with a lot of popular channels, and they make it look like living off-grid is this really piece of cake, you know?
Super fantastic,
easy thing. Let me tell you something. Wanda and I are quickly learning what's important and what's not important.
Yeah,
you know?
You learn right quick. We've learned that going over there, you forget about all the specials, the extras, the stuff.
We'll pack up some stuff and take over there and go spend the day or spend the night. And we get over and I go, well, did you bring this? And she goes, no, I forgot. And I say, well, what about your pillow for the bed? No, I forgot. So what we've had to do is we've actually had to order new stuff.
I'm gradually having what I need here and what I need there, which is the way we wanted it, but it takes a lot.
It takes a lot. It really takes a lot. We have no way over there to keep anything in cold storage. We've been putting stuff in like a little ice chest we have here. And
so my Mother's Day gift.
Her Mother's Day gift, and we don't know how it's going to work, to be honest.
I just found it.
She just found it. We found a new 12-volt refrigerator. And
we have a new Blue Eddy generator to work with, and it should keep everything cold. And I told Danny if it would just keep the lard, the butter, the syrup, and I can leave it over there, and I don't have to keep moving things back and forth and transport. I have to pack up an ice chest every night, take it over there. We use what we need. We pack it up in the morning, bring it back over here, and unpack it. Because after he uses things for breakfast, and I'm doing a lot of packing. I'd like to be able to just leave a lot of stuff over there and not know it would, or know it would not ruin. And so this little mini generator that we've got and the little mini ice refrigerator, whatever it is, no ice is needed.
No ice is needed, yeah.
We're using ice packs right now, so I'm having to make sure I freeze everything.
So those are the reasons why, or what we do with our money from Patreon here. We're trying to figure out how to make this life work over off-grid, and we're trying out new products so that if any of you guys want to try these products out, we've already tried them, we've already showed them to you, and we'll be honest, we'll tell you. If we don't like it, we'll tell you we don't like it. We'll tell you why.
We got one coming up.
I got one coming up.
We're going to tell you now.
I'm going to tell you now I don't like it. I'm not going to keep it. I've already cut a deal with somebody else. They can have it when I get through with it.
Actually, we've done 2 or 3. The grow box that I did.
Yeah, we got rid of the grow box.
I tried it three times.
Yeah.
Danny and I are not consistent in the house and leaving
Well,
power on that. I couldn't get the grow box to work, so I trashed that idea. For somebody that's in an apartment,
someone who's in an apartment and likes to do aquaponics and stuff like that, it's fine.
It's fine. Then the netting that we got, it would be fine on something that does not need pollination.
Yep. Cabbages and brassicas and stuff like that. You're trying to keep the worms off of. It's fine for that, and we'll probably keep it for that.
Yeah.
But I've got this thing out here now they sent me that I don't like. I'm going to do the review on it, and like I said, I've already made a deal with a guy. We're going to do some bartering. He wants it because he'll use it. I'm not going to use it.
I don't remember the brand name of the 12 volt. It was on Amazon, and said it would hold 57 cans. For the size, I don't see
how they get 57 cans.
I don't even see getting 25 cans in there. So I'm not sure when we get it. We'll have to see.
We'll show y'all when we get it. The patrons will be the first ones to see it.
Because we'll show you how we get it hooked up and what we're doing over there. But it will be in next week. Yeah. It'll be in before Mother's Day.
The end of next week, it's supposed to be coming in.
So for Mother's Day, I'm trying to get things for the cabin and get it where it's functionable enough that the kitchen's not finished, so we can't do videos yet.
Right.
The bathroom's not finished. We got the tile, but he's got fencing and stuff to do, so the tile will go by the wayside for a while.
Yeah, we're not doing any tile until I get through with the fencing.
So we'll just be sitting there, waiting. But it's here when he gets time. We want to hook water to the cabin, so
we have everything to hook the water to the cabin.
We just got to get some water run.
It's a half a mile, just about a quarter of a mile to get it over there. So we're not. I'm not in a big hurry to dig a ditch a quarter of a mile long right now.
But we are running some water because that's the one thing that we wanted was water. It'll still be off grid.
Yeah.
Not hooked to a power source.
We're not hooked to
but we're finding these little bitty power, what do you call them, power generators, are working really well.
They're power stations.
Yeah.
That's the correct word.
Well, they call them generators on the box.
They call them generators on the box, but they're actual power stations.
Yeah. We have to charge them, and we bring them over here to the house and charge them, and we have a solar panel that we charge with. And so 2 different ways, to work with it. And Jennifer, did you get your package?
Yes. That's one thing I was curious about. Did you get your package? Did it arrive okay? Let me put it that way.
Put it in water and then give it some life. So, guys, we got to go. We've got most of our beans shelled, and we got a whole nother pan full.
I still got a whole another 5-gallon bucket to go.
So, y'all have fun, and we thank you guys again from the bottom of our hearts coming over to Patreon. If you have questions about something, or there's something that you would want Danny to maybe talk about a little more, or on a live stream a little more, let us know. Send us a message or comment in one of the things, because Danny checks the comments.
Yeah.
And tries to keep up with them. And he'll see it, and we'll try to talk about it, or he will. And we'll go from there. But thank you guys for being a part of Patreon at Deep South Homestead.
Bye, guys.